All right. Welcome, everyone, to the conference call. And Bree, you will hear what you need to hear again, so don't worry about it. One thing I wanted to mention is that during our question and answer period, if you would like to text questions to me, I will read them to Richard. Sometimes it's hard to understand people when they're talking, so texted questions do get priority. And my cell phone is 413-441-5185. 413-441-5185. So I would like to introduce myself and then introduce Richard. My name is Robin. I'm from Western Massachusetts, and I have suffered from resilience, very resilient, mites, Morgellons, Ebola. My house had gotten infested with bed bugs, fleas, and mites, and I struggled with them for 3.5 years, which they've all brought in the Morgellons. And I was ready to burn my house down. I was at my wit's end. I just couldn't imagine going on, and I asked my pastors at church to pray for me. And the next day, I discovered Richard's book and this call, and it was a game changer. I read the book many times. I got very aggressive with my environment. The diet took forever for me to kick in because my environment was so bad. And I finally went on one of the medications suggested in the book, which lowered the dopamine level in my body enough that I wasn't as attractive to parasites and I could attack my environment and actually get clear. And then, this past winter, unfortunately, I unpacked some stuff that I had forgotten to disinfect, got reinfested again, and then got COVID-19 and was in bed for 3 months. So I'm at the tail end of getting clear again, but I'm doing so well, and it's because of Richard's book, and it's because of Richard's protocols, and it's because of the support in our community here, and I'm so grateful for all of you, for the inspiration and direction and support. And I'm really grateful for Richard and his book. So let me tell you a little bit about Richard. Richard, I love this about his book. So he's on the 10th edition right now because, like I said earlier in the introduction to the call, we are his research team, and as new evidence comes up, as new research is done, as we discover new things, he adds it to the book. His first version of this book was written in 2006, and now he's on the 10th version. Parasites, and in particular Morgellons, are still a mystery to a lot of doctors. A lot of medical professionals still think that they're all in your head, that it's delusional parasitosis, and that's slowly changing as more and more evidence piles up. But we're mostly left on our own to work our way through this, and that's where Richard and his book comes in. He was suffering tremendously in the mid-90s, and he had the relentless itching and the bites, and he discovered the King's Diet by creating this elimination diet and then slowly adding foods and keeping a diary and seeing what caused reactions in his body. And he created the bath protocol, and then he learned how to attack his environment. And since then, Richard has spent hours and much time helping others get their life back, just like he got his life back. And so anyway, that's what Richard's about, that's what I'm about, and I'd like to introduce you guys. Here's Richard Kuhn.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Morgellons Sunday event of the week. This program, is recorded. You can listen to it anytime that you wish. If you missed some information or would like to go over something that was said or pick up somebody's name that who contributed or shared that you'd like to get in touch with through the buddy system. The program, this is September 13th. It will be initially up on the free conference call website to listen to and watch if you like to, and then it will be transferred over to YouTube, where it will be there for you to watch as well later on. Now, the call, this is a working call for the people who have read the book, or at least started reading the book, and have looked at the diet, may have some questions about it, or are on the diet. This is not a call for sales. Some of you may be here. You got the information somehow through Facebook or email from someone, and you haven't read the book, you haven't started the diet. So as Robin said, there are two parts to the program, one where we share the isolationism, the frustration, the aggravation, the anger, the upset, and all that comes along with it, the depression to the point where you want to end it all. I know. I can feel it. I've been there. And the stories that you may have through from doctor to doctor. I mean, we had a lady on the, last week, about 24 doctors she went through. Yeah. So anybody, please, you can share your miserable experiences that you've gone through, how your family may not be in gear with you. They may be thinking that you're the one that's got the problem, that you should be in a nut house. So feel free, anyone who is on this program, to share that and be with us in that respect. As far as asking me questions about the diet or stuff that's in the book, if, like I said, if you have not read the book, or if you're not on the diet, please refrain from that, because anything you share with me, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, are you on the diet? And if you're not on the diet and you haven't started the diet, there's really nothing to discuss, because I don't know how to help anyone who is not working with the diet. It's as simple as that. I'm useless in that regard. There are other protocols that do not use the diet. They just say eat healthy. Well, they're out there. I don't know if people get well with them. I don't. I watch what our people do. I don't watch what other people do. So the subject of the this morning's update, if you're in my email list, was detox reactions. If you're dealing with parasites, mites, internal parasites, nematodes, pinworms, roundworms, whatever, and you're in the program, there are several supplements and even medications that are in the protocol that will release too many things all at once. It will clean them out, and you'll be overridden with this garbage that is in your system that needs to get out, and the body can't eliminate it as fast as it's released. So before I get into being technical, the FDA requires me to inform everybody on this call that I am not a medical doctor, and that before you start the diet or accept any of my recommendations, that you are to discuss them thoroughly with your medical doctor to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems you're presently experiencing. The AMA and FDA also require me to inform you that we are not here, Rob and me, Ethel, Barbara, Sandra, we're not here to treat, cure, or mitigate any skin disorder or skin disease. We're here to educate you in how to clean them out of your environment, clean them out of your skin, clean them systemically out of your body, and through the use of nutritional supplementation, build health and immune functioning. That's what we're here for. So there are several supplements that are in my protocol that are incredibly powerful. And at any time could be the first capsule that you take, or it might be 6 months afterwards, there will be eventually a detox reaction. And those supplements are Max 1, glutathione. Max 1 is a combination of D-ribose and L-cysteine bonded together, so it gets right into the cellular mechanism. And in the cellular mechanism, one of the primary detoxifiers, or probably one of the strongest detoxifiers, if you go to Google and you search the top 20 results, it'll be glutathione. Glutathione. If you are poisoned with arsenic and sent to the hospital, the first thing you're going to get is a shot of glutathione. It's powerful. It will detox you at some point or other. Of course, that glutathione push that you get in a hospital is a higher amount of glutathione than you're going to get from a capsule or two. But yet, these capsules are powerful. If you go to the health food store and buy a glutathione over the counter, reduced glutathione, only 20% to 30% of that glutathione that's in those capsules actually gets through your stomach and into your bloodstream. And then hopefully it will do something. The Max 1 product will boost your glutathione by 270%. So you'd have to take 18 capsules of over-the-counter stuff to be equivalent to the amount that you get with Max 1. It's a detoxifier. The other is Acillin. Acillin is in our Garcillin product. We have 2 grades of it, one normal and one high-grade Acillin. So Acillin, if you go to Wikipedia and search for it, Acillin, it will say it's a natural antibiotic, natural antiviral, natural antiprotozoan, natural parasitic, antifungal. It covers the gamut. It's basically the same information that you'll find for colloidal silver. So colloidal silver can do this as well. Now, the Garcillin will likewise detox you at some point. Another product in our arsenal is the kinase enzymes. Kinase enzymes goes after chitin. So it breaks up fungal organisms, whether it be candida or some kind of mold or anything that's in your system that is fungal in nature, it will break it up. So there you'll get a detox. Lefiniran is one of the medications that we recommend. Lefiniran makes it impossible for organisms to lay eggs in your body. So if you're loaded with mites and they're trying to lay eggs, it's going to turn into garbage. You have to get rid of it. If you have a lot of fungal or candida in your system, it can't replicate. It's going to go into slush, into garbage. Fenbenzidol is another. Even our mouthwash, if you're consuming it, it will clean out the organisms internally, whether they be pinworms, roundworms, or flatworms, or whatever might be around there. It's going to clean them out. And there you got mush that you got to get rid of. So it's probably impractical for anybody, if you're into the program and using any of these supplements, and there may be others that I just don't come to mind right now, that will create a detox reaction. Robin, can you give us a list of detox reactions? Do you have them handy?
I do. So, you know, the detox reactions are when you're releasing so many toxins too quickly and it overloads your body. And so here are some detox reactions. fatigue with sleep disruption and brain fog, mood disturbance such as depression, anxiety, fear, and anger, muscle aches, joint pain and swelling, sinus congestion, dark circles under your eyes, postnasal drip, headaches with neck and shoulder pain, bloating and flatulence, irritable bowels, foul-smelling stools, dark urine, weight changes, loss of muscle tone, heartburn, recurring colds and persistent infections, infertility, premature aging and weakness, fluid retention and excess weight, rashes and canker sores, bad breath, and body odor. All of those things are detox reactions.
Have you ever had any of them? Have you ever gone through any of them?
I have, but most of my detox reactions have been mild. I'm really grateful for that. I mean, I take Max 1 and I take Garcillin and I take the chitosanase enzymes and I take other enzymes, and I haven't had any really severe detox reactions, and I don't know why, but I'm really grateful for that.
You're very fortunate, but as you go over the list, it sounds like what some people go through every day. The fatigue, right. And exactly. You know, how the heck can you tell a detox reaction from every day? You know, it's a... Right,
because I mean, I did have brain fog, and I did have, you know, disrupted sleep patterns, exhaustion, and a lot of it is that I don't think they were detox things. But I don't know.
The detox reactions can be life-threatening. They can be life-threatening. And in the course of my time, I only experienced the detox reactions one time. Lyme disease just about destroyed my life 13 years ago. And fortunately, someone clued me into Max 1, and I boosted the glutathione. And within about 6 weeks, I noticed there was less inflammation, less pain, and I started getting better and better and better over the course of a year. I was probably 90% better just by adding Max 1. And then someone informed me about acillin. And, okay, so what the heck, I'll try it out. And I had no idea. Couldn't even fathom. You know, I thought, oh, it's just a capsule. I'm just going to take this stupid capsule and nothing's going to happen. Boom. My knee doubled in size. The inflammation was incredibly painful. And that was the last Garcillin capsule I took for 2 weeks. The lymphatics got clogged up in my knee. And I bought a vibrating pillow on Amazon to put under my knee to open up the lymphatics. I'm not sure if it was the pillow or just the passing of time. But finally, things went back to normal, and I resumed the Garcillin. And that was the last detox reaction. And I went from maybe 90 to 95% recovery from Lyme to 99.5%. So detox can be a strong part of your recovery. Now, what I didn't know was what to do about detox. You know, the best I could come up with a vibrating pillow. And I've learned since then a little bit more about the mechanisms of detox. So if you haven't read through the update I sent out this morning, please do. Please study it, because it makes sense to prepare for detox rather than wait for it and have to wait a week to get the pillow or the supplements that can make the difference. I learned a little bit more about detox. It seems that, at least the references I found, indicate that it's in the cellular mechanism. It actually starts, the toxins overload the cellular mechanism to the point they shut down the mitochondria. And there are thousands of mitochondria in every cell of your body. They are what are described as the furnaces of your body. Glutathione, one of its major purposes is to protect the mitochondria. And the D-ribose that is in the formula of MAX1 is the fuel for the mitochondria. And when the mitochondria get shut down, that's pretty bad. That's a bad situation. So the answer, there are two possible answers, and one has to do with enzymes, digestive enzymes, to get the right nutrients, because if our body is on shutdown and you're eating, you're going to be bloating and you're not going to be digesting food, and the nutrients are not going to be getting into the cells where you want it to be. So the digestive enzymes are important. The second most important thing is the amino acids. Now, in other updates we looked at in the last week, we talked about Monsanto and glyphosate. And I didn't mention last week, but one of the things that glyphosate does, according to Dr. Zach Bush in his videos, GMOs Revealed, is that glyphosate decreases or inhibits the ability of all the amino acids, I believe 21 amino acids. It inhibits the ability of about 3 of those amino acids to be uptaken into your body. And he uses a great analogy. It's like to speak the English. It's like trying to speak the English language with 23 or 24 letters. And gosh, you know, just a few weeks ago, my laptop got wet, and I couldn't use X, Z, and C. Those 3 letters drove me nuts. I couldn't use them. I couldn't copy. I couldn't paste. I couldn't do any, you know. So try speaking the English language without 3 letters. Try running your body without 3 amino acids. Try it. It's not going to work. And Dr. Zach Bush also says something that's kind of frightening. If you want to eliminate any population, genocide, feed them glyphosate. Put it in their food. Put it out there. And that's what Monsanto has been doing since the 90s, feeding us glyphosate. It's a natural antibiotic. It destroys the gut flora. Socrates says all disease starts in the gut, and he's right. And Monsanto has brought his prophecy really as far as it can go. I mean, that's it. So the other thing is the digestive enzymes. We have 2 of them in the store. I mean, there are others in the marketplace, but you want to make sure they are compatible with the diet. Fluorocore has probiotics, so if you're also dealing with Columbella, I would not recommend Fluorocore, because the probiotics, until you're at least stage 2 of the diet, will feed the Columbella and have counter effect. So the other one is our Agro Relief enzyme, which is also gluten relief enzyme. Breaks up fibrous materials in the body. So it's a great enzyme that complements, and that's why I've selected it. It complements what we want to do when we're dealing with Morgellons. We want to break up the fiber. And we also have the amino acids in the store. Now, the other alternative is zeolite. Zeolite is a naturally occurring compound that in nature, and there's a link on Amazon where you can get it. You want a high-quality zeolite. We don't have it in the store, but those, you want to go one approach or the other. I look at it this way. My body's not deficient in zeolite, but the amino acids, yeah, and the digestive enzymes, why not? Let's get the most out of the food that we eat. So that's my take on it. So is there anybody in the audience that would like to share your experience with detox, if you've had it?
Teresa?
You're muted. I'm not muted. Am I muted?
No, we hear you.
Okay, cool. Well, I just recently got everyone to believe that I was even going through something. been saying it for years, but everybody told me I was seeing things, and it caused me to go super schizophrenic. But finally, I was given
Could you speak up? We can hardly hear you now.
I do apologize. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So I was given this thing by my mom yesterday, and it was
Mabel?
It's called the Life Tree Purity, but it looks like, from what it says, it has only like walnut herb, green, black, walnut hull, clove bud, oregano leaf, rhubarb, thyme. It looks like it's just a bunch of different roots and seeds.
And it's probably not good for free. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but, you know, on stage 1 you can't even have walnuts. So really, before you share this stuff, you need to look at the diet and read the book. And you could share it with Richard. It might be perfect for stage 2. Okay?
Yeah, if it's got black walnut in it, I don't even know if you'd want to take it in stage 2. Black walnut, hull, and wormwood are 2 phenomenal, fantastic substances, but unfortunately Columbella loves them and eats them. And basically, it seems that 80% of people with Morgellons have also Columbella, or dealing with springtails.
Okay, well, I feel like I should have definitely read the book before I talked to you, but I just found out about this 2 days ago, and I wanted to reach out and be part of something and know that I wasn't alone, because I felt isolated and alone and helpless.
Tell us about that. Tell us about your isolation and your aloneness. You said that nobody in your family believes you, or that they're just starting to turn around. How many doctors have you gone to? Tell us about that.
Okay, so this all started back in 2014. So I've been being affected for 6 years. The last 4 have been the most difficult, and it was after I went to the hospital and they tried to treat me for MRSA. They didn't know what it was. They wanted to have somebody from the CDC come and talk to me, but my finger swelled up to about like 4 times its size. And they gave me vancomycin and Unicef, and those are what you use to treat MRSA. It didn't help me. And after 4 days of being in the hospital, I had to get back to work. Well, what I did was screen printing and embroidery, so I was constantly touching threads and material fibers, and I was constantly having a problem with my hands. So I started wearing gloves to work. People started talking about me. I started getting really self-conscious. Fast forward, I ended up leaving that job, and I went to live in a different place, thinking that maybe the environment would change the way that I felt. So I moved to Oklahoma, and that didn't go over too well. I had my identity stolen, but that's a whole other deal. And throughout all of this, I'm dealing with abusive boyfriends and everything, so my stress level is continuously increasing. I'm also a single mother. I have been for the past 11 years. My son is 11 years old, so I've been there. He's been with me the entire time, and he has watched me go through it, and that in and of itself is absolutely just heart-wrenching. And I think that I'm going to infect him, so I'm constantly cleaning, and I can't sit down with him to do anything. I'm supposed to be doing this distance learning thing with him, and I can't even sit on his bed without having a reaction, because he likes to eat on his bed, and so he has crumbs, and basically anything affects me. So I've become a basic agoraphobic. I don't trust anybody, because I've tried to tell people since day one that I noticed there was a big problem, that there was a problem, and everybody told me I was crazy, I was seeing things, maybe, it's the substances you've used, or one thing or another. And unfortunately, like, no matter what I said, what I did, and how many doctors I've already gone through, I've probably gone through 17 to 20 around that time, or around that number. And each one of them has looked at me like I have 10 heads. Each one of them looks at me like that's not possible. I went to the dermatologist recently, and they called the police on me, telling them that they think I should go into a mental hospital and I'm not fit to watch my son. Thank God I live with my mother now, so I'm not on my own trying to deal with this, which is even more debilitating because then I feel absolutely helpless. But up until literally about a month and a half ago, my mother still didn't believe me. She still didn't believe that there was something there. And then she watched something pop out of my skin, and she heard it when it did it. And that's what convinced her. But I always thought people were talking about me behind my back. I still think that. I still think people are talking about me. I still think people are making their judgments. I'm worried about neighbors and what they're thinking of me because I'm constantly wearing gloves and I'm up all hours of the night because I cannot sleep. I'm also on psychiatric medication to help me sleep, and there's some times that it does, but if I'm having like a flare-up or anything because I've stupidly decided to touch a shoelace instead of putting on my gloves first, or basically anything that I touch without gloves gives me a flare-up. It is the most debilitating thing I have ever experienced. I feel utterly helpless. And 3 days ago, I tried to commit suicide for the 11th time. My mother saved me, and it took me to get to that point. I mean, I was in a schizophrenic rock, just repeating, I don't matter to anybody. Nobody cares about me. I help everyone else, and nobody wants to help me. All they want to do is hurt me. And when I say hurt me, they hurt me with their words. They hurt me with the things that they say. I mean, if I mention something that needs to be cleaned because and I'm nice about it, I'm like, this needs to be clean. I'm talking about the stove. And it's more frustration level that I get versus understanding and compassion. And it took me to get to the schizophrenic rock to and unfortunately I do have a few bruises that I endured during this episode because I just said I want to be taken out. I don't want to deal with this anymore. It is the worst thing that I've ever experienced in my entire life, and I've been through the ringer. I've lived on the streets. I've been exposed to quite a few different things. I'm in the concrete jungle here in Dago, and it's a nightmare because people judge you left and right. And I've been feeling like people will say one thing to my face because they don't want to upset me, and they know that if they say anything against what I'm saying, I'm going to flip. I'm already bipolar, so it's a really, really, really hard thing to live with on its own. Add Morgellons to it, and I'm as good as worthless. I get down on myself and I beat myself up all the time because I feel that I should be able to do this, and I can't do this, and what I have is out of my control, and that's why, like I said, 2 days ago or 3 days ago, that all happened. And since then, my mom kind of put forth an effort to start doing some research on her own. She's actually the one who found you guys and gave me the information and ordered the debriding soap, and that's supposed to be here on Thursday. And I've been taking this thing from Purity Tree, which now I'm not going to take anymore because everything that was said, it makes me absolutely just horrified because I didn't realize that blood sugar levels rise rising meant the parasites were being fed. And that to me is like, oh my God. So I have to look at the King's Diet, and I have to start reading that book. I mean, I've got nothing else better to do. I change my sheets 15 times a day. I'm constantly going through it, and because I have been utilizing the stuff with the black walnut hull and everything, I noticed that my skin just doesn't stop.
Do you have the questionnaire? Do you have the questionnaire?
Yeah, I was sent it with today's letter. I hadn't gotten around to doing it before this meeting, but I wanted to be part of it.
As soon as you can, please complete the questionnaire. At the end of the program, I'm going to give you our buddy coach email, and I want you to get in touch with her. We hope to be the other part of your family and support you in getting your life back. That's what we're here for. I'm not going to paint any rosy picture. It's work. The difference is, and I'm not, everybody who is the point where you are has been doing a lot of work. Like you said, changing the sheets 15 times. You were misdiagnosed with MRSA. Many people are diagnosed with MRSA that have Morgellons, or they're diagnosed with scabies. And that generally is a good diagnosis. At least it's not that you're delusional, but I'm sure if you've been to 17 doctors and you said you were almost committed or suggested to go to the psychiatric ward, so the delusions was there as well in terms of the doctor's minds. So thank you for being on the call. We're here to support you. Please get the questionnaire out as possible. The difference being is chapter 3 is all about disinfecting, cleaning them out. It's like driving a car with a clutch. Only thing is this car's got 3 clutches. And the most important clutch, the trunk of the tree, the analogy I use all the time is that the diet is like the trunk of the tree. And the tree's got many limbs. And the book goes over, probably 100 different limbs, and the book goes over most of them. But it singles down to the ones that are most important. So the diet is number 1. And it can be, as Robin said earlier, it took a while for her diet to kick in because the environment was a problem. So the second clutch is the environment. Every organism's got to be cleaned out of the environment. It's got to be disinfected. It's got to be eliminated. It's got to be killed. It's got to be destroyed. It's got to be gone. And the
obliterated.
What's that?
I said obliterated.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, just think of setting off little bombs, atomic bombs, that destroy those suckers. And basically, you can often do it with many over-the-counter, like ammonia worked for me. Robin had to go to greater lengths than simply using ammonia, but there are different things that are listed in the book. And then the third clutch is cleaning them out of your skin, getting in that bathtub up to 40 minutes at a time, letting that debriding soap penetrate deep in the skin. It's important to use a disinfectant along with it. The debriding soap, you're only using like 2 capfuls. That's the cap on the bottle. You fill up the cap on the bottle with the concentrated liquid, and you put that in the bathtub. And that's a dilution of like 1 to 20,000. So it's not very strong, but you're in there 40 minutes, and it penetrates deep into your skin. It makes it, it irritates them and cleans them out of your skin, and then you need something in the bathtub to kill them as they come out, and that could be apple cider vinegar, it could be borax. So chapter 3 has about 15 different disinfectants that you can use in the bathtub: peppermint oil, lavender oil, oregano, the essential oils. And you just don't want to add the oil to the bath water. You want to add it to the nature's gift. Otherwise, the nature's gift will cause it to be dispersed in the water and not have it just float on the water. So if you're dealing with fungal organisms, skin fungus, you also feel burning. Burning is often associated with fungal organisms. So the best disinfectant for that would be apple cider vinegar. So those are three things. And once you get those three things done, you will have some level of normalcy. The thing about Morgellons, and that is, it does affect us mentally. It does affect our mental acuity. It affects our, it exacerbates any paranoia or bipolar. It will exacerbate those mental issues as well. So keep up with whatever medications your doctor has on you with that regard, and get me the questionnaire, and let's get you on track, and let's get you the support that you need here in this program. Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else like to share? Yes.
Richard, I just want to say, you know, as a coach, I'm available to talk to people, and during the end of the program, I will be giving my phone numbers also, and you know, anyone can call me when you tell. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Thanks, Robin. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Thank you, Tim.
The isolationism. You know, she brought up a lot of important points. The stress is through the roof, and that's one of the things we talk about, because stress, the reaction to stress, whether it be emotional, is that frustration, aggravation, anger, our goal here is to take these emotions and change them into a call to action. But when you're in the frustration and aggravation and upset, it activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight response. It prepares your body to fight by circulating hormones through your body, epinephrine, noradrenaline, adrenaline, and cortisol. And if the stress response, if the stressor is not resolved, those hormones continue circulating, and cortisol releases blood sugar, which is counterintuitive because it ends up feeding the organisms and making them stronger. So we also look at, and we'll go over a couple of stress management techniques. Robin and I will do them, and that you can use whenever and as often as you possibly can. For instance, the first step in any stress management program that you most likely would ever take would be learning how to do deep breathing. Deep breathing is amazing that it can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, release catecholamines, and turn off the sympathetic nervous system. At the beginning of this call, I had trouble logging in, and I was doing some deep breathing. I was saying, well, I'll get in somehow. Sooner or later, if I'm late, I'm late. I'll get there or whatever. But that's a small stressor compared to being in the fight of these organisms. So it's important to remember to do the deep breathing and have as many reminders as around as possible, because the announcer on TV, the announcer on the radio is not going to be saying, did you remember to do your deep breathing? No. It's up to us to remember to do the deep breathing, to do what's good for us. Why don't we do that right now, Robin? Let's go through the deep breathing. She's going to tell you how to do the deep breathing. And when you're breathing in, I'm going to suggest or be mentioning words like inspiration, health, creativity. You see,
they make a panel for the
is somebody talking? Please stop talking. You can share later if you have something to share. See, the other thing about the stress response is that it gets you ready to fight or run. So what it does is it tenses up muscles. It reduces circulation to your fingertips and toes, so they get cooler or cold. It stops digestion. So yeah. Digestion stops. So if we're constantly under stress, we're not getting our nutrition because we're not digesting food on a regular basis. Heart rate goes up, blood pressure goes up, and IQ drops. And if your IQ drops, your creativity is out on vacation somewhere. So you want creativity. You want to use things that I've used. Keep a diary every day. Write down what you eat, how you feel 30 minutes after. As Robin said earlier, the diet was discovered through an elimination diet. It's the same diet that people, nutritionists, use to figure out if you're allergic to something. You eat something, and then a few minutes later you check your pulse. If your pulse goes up, it tells you're allergic to it. Well, we're not looking for allergies. We're looking for a reaction like 20 minutes after you eat. Do you feel more itching or biting? Any more of those skin symptoms? That tells you that food is not good for you, and that's how the diet was discovered. So as you breathe in, you're going to breathe in health, creativity, wellness, and you're going to exhale frustration, aggravation, depression, futility. You're going to exhale those energies. It's all about energy. The world is about energy. So you're going to breathe in energies of benefit, that are beneficial, and exhale the energies that are non-beneficial. So Robin, let's go through the deep breathing.
Okay. So for those of you who are new, you can either stand up with your shoulders down, back straight. If you're sitting, both feet are touching the floor, not with your legs crossed. We're going to breathe in through our diaphragm, which is in our belly. We're going to breathe in through our nose, and we're going to breathe out through our mouth. Our shoulders stay down. You do not breathe in from our chest. So it's like, imagine you have a big tire around your belly. When you breathe in, it goes out and fills with air, and then you use your stomach muscles like a bellows to, in a controlled push the air slowly out. We're going to breathe in for 5 seconds. We're going to hold for 5 seconds, and then we're going to breathe out for 10 seconds. Okay? So everyone, shoulders down, back straight, body relaxed. You're going to use, you can put your hands on your tummy if you need to remember to use your diaphragm. Let your air out, and you're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Breathe in, 2,
Creativity,
3, 4,
health,
5. Hold,
vibrance,
2, 3,
love,
4, 5.
peace,
Breathe out, 2,
frustration,
3, 4,
aggravation,
6,
let go,
7, 8,
depression,
9, 10. Breathe
anger,
in, 2,
health,
3, 4.
vibrance,
Hold, 2,
insight,
3, 4,
peace,
5. Breathe out,
creativity,
2, 3,
frustration gone,
4, 5,
depression gone,
7, 8,
let go,
9, 10.
let go,
In, 2,
health,
3, 4.
peace,
Hold, 2,
relax, let go,
5. Breathe out, 2,
anger,
3, 4,
confusion,
5, 6,
uncertainty,
7, 8,
let it go,
9, 10.
let it go,
In, 2,
creativity,
4, 5.
vibrance,
Hold,
energy,
3,
love,
4, 5. Breathe out,
frustration,
3,
depression,
4, 5,
let go,
7,
let go,
9, and one more. Breathe in, 2,
creativity abounds,
5.
health,
Hold, 2,
freedom,
Four.
love,
Breathe out.
peace,
2,
frustration,
4,
let go,
6,
confusion,
7, 8,
uncertainty,
9,
let
10.
go.
And take a deep cleansing breath. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Good job.
Would anyone like to share your experience with the deep breathing? Notice my voice is calmer now. I let go. Anybody like to share? Anybody find their blood pressures dropped when they went to the doctor? Are you using it?
Yeah,
Bree from California.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you started talking first, sweetheart. Handle it.
Okay, well, I was just going to say that when I go to the doctor, the last time I went and I had to get my blood pressure, I was anxious, and he took my blood pressure. It was pretty high, and he said, okay, let's do this again, and I just started deep breathing, and it went down to like 120/80, which is perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, just with like a minute of deep breathing. It was amazing.
It's phenomenal.
I first started practicing deep breathing when I was told that I had severe anxiety, and that was before I was ever I ever had symptoms. So I'm OCD naturally, so you can only imagine what I'm like right now, and anybody who has to deal with me. So the deep breathing is also things that I was telling other people to practice too. I'm like, I know you need it when it comes to me. Just breathe. And I also look into chakras, and I'm a very spiritual person. I like to be one with nature. I like to have the ability to connect to nature. I got this hot stone massage, and it literally allows you to center yourself. However, it's rocks, and I think everything is dirty right now, and everything is like, it's like I hold up a crucifix to rebuke it, because it's just absolutely horrendous. And that goes for anything, for clothing and all of that. So I find myself deep breathing at least 10 times a day, minimum. And sometimes I get to a frustration point that I just I can't bring myself to deep breathe. And that's when all hell breaks loose with me. So deep breathing is a very, very, very significant part.
Thank you. Let's go into the next technique. Let's go into tapping. And Robin's going to take us through a tapping. Now, if there's any confusion as to what her instructions are, you can watch this video, and she'll lead you and watch her do it and do it as well. So tapping is another technique. These are quick techniques. I have a website, destress.com, with over 50 different CDs about stress management and chakras and meditation and Jacobsonian techniques, autogenic training, visualizations, all the techniques that you could ever want are there. Let's go through tapping, Robin.
Okay. All right, so with tapping, for the most part, we're going to use our first 2 fingers on each hand to tap, except when we do the first tap is like a karate chop, and you can do it on your hand, or you can do it on a piece of furniture gently. And then we're going to tap on the top of our head, on above our eyebrows, on the side of our eyes, under our eyes, under our nose, our chin, and under our neck, and then we're going to rub right there. And we're going to tap 7 to 10 times in each place. And I'm going to say this sentence, but I want you to think it while we're tapping. I'm going to vary it a little bit, but the sentence is going to be, this situation is really horrible. but I'm going to love and respect myself in the middle of it. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do, pick one thing that's stressing you out. It could be how bad the environment is. It could be how itchy you are. It could be how are you going to get through today. But just pick one thing, rate it on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the worst and 0 being no stress. Okay? The cool thing about tapping is you can do this over and over with that one thing until the number gets lower. So, okay, everyone has one thing they're thinking of, and you've given it a number of how stressed. Now, we are going to start by doing the karate chop very slowly and gently, and I want you to think this. I want you to think, this situation is horrible, but I'm going to love and respect myself in it. And then we're going to tap on the top of our head, and we're going to say, I don't know if I can get through this, but I'm going to love and respect myself in it. And then above our eyebrows, this is so hard, but I am going to love and respect myself in the middle of it. And then on the sides of our eyes, no matter what happens, I love and respect myself. Under our eyes, this situation really stinks, but I love and respect myself in the middle of it. Under our nose, and just breathe, chin, right under our neck, and then just gently rub there. It should be a little bit sore. And again, take a deep cleansing breath. If you have water nearby, take a cleansing. Water helps release the toxins that are in your body. When you do an exercise like tapping or deep breathing, you're actually releasing toxins.
Robin, do you have a song on drinking water?
I don't. I should write one.
Write one.
But
Hopefully
we can later. We can do the happy self.
Yeah, we'll do the happy song, the happy self song too, and do some a water song for us. Drink, drink, drink. You know, maybe an old bar song or something. Down at Maury's, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So
Anyone
anyway,
like
did anyone the number that you picked for your stress? Did it go down? Anyone want to comment? Anybody?
Okay. My name's Brittany. I'm from Cali. I seem to just like to speak.
I'm sorry, what?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Bree from California. Apparently, I just really like to hear myself speak. And I am just absolutely, like, I can't express how grateful I am that even something like this exists. My brother's actually the one who by only God's grace, ended up finding Morgellons when he was looking on his iPad because I was freaking out, and he saw it come out of me, and so that was awesome. But how do you do that if you can't bring your fingers next to your eyes? Like how do
you will.
tapping
Well, first
and,
of all,
and
you will be able. You will be able to bring your fingers next to your eyes. That is not a permanent state of being that you are in. And second of all, if you wash your face and hands with some, even just, you know, like Dawn dish soap, which is antibacterial, before you do the exercise, I don't think you're going to be spreading anything.
Well, you can also use we have hand soap. You can also use our hand soap that'll deep clean your face and your fingers.
All right. We have wonderful
Okay,
bar
it's to
soap.
the point where I can't even use water is like my enemy right now.
Well, not if you use something that disinfects it while you're using the water.
Absolutely.
And then
That-
you dry your
you said-
hands.
Yes, that is a crucial part I've noticed.
Right. But that's how you would do that.
Okay,
Anyone else
thank
like
you.
to comment?
Hola, aquí adelante.
Anybody?
Anyone else like to hear themselves talk? I love that. Anyone else?
If I was in this state of mind, I'm actually like a part-time comedian and / race car driver on the side. That was a joke.
This is Lori from Ohio.
Yes.
I wanted to tell the lady that was just speaking that in our home we changed we put water filters on all our, like in our bathroom, in our kitchen, so it filters it. So
Just one thing. May I interrupt? Just one thing. We don't give advice, but you speak from your experience. So speak from your experience.
Because I'm with her. Water freaks me out too. So I understand where she's coming from with that. Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the
disinfectant. I use
in fact, we're looking at water filters to add to your shower to clean out the toxins from the water as well as one of the things to put on the website.
Yes.
So we're
But
looking
also,
for that.
I do use the disinfectant along with the soap for sure. I use that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Right.
Anyone else like to share?
Richard, when you reach the questions, I do have like 3 questions.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, we did a double whammy here. We did the breathing. We did the tapping. Man, we're rolling. Let's get into it.
All right.
Let's get into the meat of this.
So, from Lynn in California, what do you think our body temperature means and how it relates to an evaluation of our condition? And I would just like to say that for me, I think that Morgellons, we are the host, and it wants to make our bodies as hospitable to it as it can, and it seems to lower people's body temperature to a place where it's comfortable. And the longer I had it, my normal temperature now is like 97.2.
Always fun just to wave
It's Dr. Sloan from Atlanta. I don't know what happened to him. I can't find any reference of him being in practice anymore. But basically, he was working with Morgellons people, and the body temperature would drop usually at 1 degree. So it's one of the questions on the questionnaire, but nobody ever answers it because nobody ever has a thermometer, which I understand. But generally, if you're running 1 degree cooler, it could be an indication. I've been reading some information since about the coronavirus, and not everybody runs 98.6. Some people, their normal body temperature is down around 97. It doesn't necessarily mean they have Morgellons, but what they're pointing out is that the temperature is not a good gauge for judging whether or not somebody might be infected by coronavirus. And the other thing, while I'm mentioning coronavirus, is that I happened upon a YouTube video yesterday, and I did post it in the update that I sent out this morning, which in Spain they were doing research, a clinical trial. It was a small clinical trial. It was about 100 people, but all 100 people that were hospitalized for coronavirus were given the same treatment as far as medication, and it was basically the treatment that your doctor gave you, Robin. And in 75 of them, they gave an accelerated form of vitamin D3. I don't remember exactly what the name of it is, but if you take a capsule of vitamin D3, it takes about 3 days for it to get metabolized into your system, where this compound is effective at what you want. So they gave 75 people vitamin D3. The other 25 got nothing except the same treatment. And the results were phenomenal. The equivalent amount of D3 is about maybe 5 times what I would be taking normally. I take 50,000 international units a day, and which is about 1/5 of what they used in the trial. But it was amazing that out of the 75, only 2 required, I think 2, maybe 1 or 2, only required critical care. So I hope that if you...
I was sick for a long time, but I never required critical care because I was doing the high vitamin D, zinc. And
you did the high vitamin D too?
I did, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the first thing I did.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That may be why you're here talking to us today.
I think so. I think so.
Along with snorting some NG. So, well, anyway, look at that study. Look at that YouTube video. If you're on Facebook, post it, and maybe we can create a movement, help create a movement here to get some researchers looking into vitamin D3 as an alternative and turn the tide of the number of people dying, 1,000 people a day dying from this thing. It's incredible.
And the other thing is zinc, like 220 milligrams of zinc a day. The people who added zinc in had the same positive effect as the people who added the vitamin D. And I think when you do them both together, it's
even better. Yeah, but
yeah.
it isn't regular zinc, right? You had a special compound of zinc?
Actually, I didn't, and I wasn't taking quite enough. I probably would have gotten better quicker. But they didn't know enough. I had read about it, but the doctors weren't on board with it yet. Now they are. So it's a little bit different now. But I have another question. What do you think about the connection between yeast, fungus, mites, and columbola?
The connection between what?
Between yeast and fungus and mites and
the first word? I can't.
Yeast.
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 Like
bread yeast, only body yeast.
Oh, okay. Well, they're all in the same. They're all in the same family, like Candida, yeast. And they all are fungal in nature, and the commonality between all of them is chitin. And chitin, as I've said before, is like the mortar in a brick wall. So all these organisms need the chitin in order to stay together and exist. Without the chitin, they are mush, gone. So, yeah. And then the 2 things that we have that deal with that are the lefiniron that we recommend that you get from a place in Mexico. It's sent to you from Texas. And the kinase enzymes. The kinase enzymes break down the existing chitin, and also biofilm. Biofilm is a big deal when it comes to Morgellons and Lyme disease. They're kind of one and the same in many respects. But the kinase enzymes goes after the existing chitin that's in your body and the biofilm, and the lefiniron keeps any organisms in your body from replicating. Any other questions there, Robin?
Yes, I do. Could you go over one more time the detox supplements that are okay for stage 1 and the ones that are okay for columbola or not okay for columbola?
The detox supplements?
Mm-hmm. That we talked about earlier.
Sure.
I believe it was Agro Relief is good for stage 1.
Agro Relief is good for stage 1 if you're not dealing with columbola. And our complete formula, our complete amino acid formula, that's good for stage 1. And zeolite would be good for stage 1.
Okay, and then FloraCore is not good if you have columbola.
Right. Not until you get to mid-stage 2. Some point in stage 2 can you have probiotics. So probiotics are beneficial for Morgellons. The only thing about probiotics is that any formula that you buy is probably going to be limited in the amount of the species of the probiotics. Maybe only a tenth of the species that normally exist. So it's really more important to focus on prebiotics. And we did an update, I don't know, some time ago, maybe a month or two ago, about what prebiotics are. And they're mostly things that you eat. I mean, like rhubarb is a prebiotic. Unfortunately, it's not on the diet, but there are, I think, spinach is a prebiotic, and there are some other veggies that are listed that are prebiotics. We also have the Restore, R-E-S-T-O-R-E. It's a liquid. It's minerals that supplement and help create gut flora. So that would be an approach also to go to strengthen one's intestinal system. Any other questions there, Robin?
Not yet, but people feel free to text me questions.
You want to give your text number again?
Sure, 413-441-5185.
Thank you. Anyone else want to ask a question from the floor? People from all over the states are on this call. Sometimes Canada. Sometimes we have people from
Australia.
The great country of Australia, where I want to go and retire.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
Oh, I was totally saying yeah to Australia, but
yeah. Okay.
It's just Bree again. I did have a quick question. It has to do also with body temperature, but also with what it puts out in the air. So, with regards to Morgellons, or has anyone else experienced when your skin is excreting that you'll start getting a lot hotter, like it almost inflames your entire life, and all of the other people around you start, itching themselves, and they start complaining about it being too hot. And you
first of all, the burning skin is often associated with accompanying skin fungus that causes burning skin. Now, as far as other people being affected, it's typical. I hear this time and time again that people tell me that whenever they're around other people, and of course they become self-conscious about it, they notice other people itching and scratching when they're around them. So this is often typical because the bottom line is until you're on the diet, you are a walking, talking, breathing machine. They're jumping off of you. They're flying out of your mouth. They're just floating around from you until you get on that diet and clean them out.
Well,
thank you. Anyone else have a question?
That just solidifies my fear. That's awesome.
What?
I said, well, that solidified my fear. So with respect to that, from what I've heard, it's not contagious. Is that false then?
You say it's not contagious?
I'm asking if it is.
It depends on who you are. It depends on what neighborhood you grew up in. Depends on how much money you have. No, I'm just kidding. All right, the Morgellons Foundation.
It doesn't discriminate.
The Morgellons Foundation, it depends on whether you're black or Hispanic. Now, the Morgellons Foundation, Dr. Carju, Dr. Saverly, all say that Morgellons is not contagious, that you might catch it from dogs or animals, but it is not contagious human to human. All right, that's what they say. Now, I don't know. They also don't even acknowledge the existence of columbella, springtails, as being a factor. And a study in 2002 done by the National Pedulosis Society found that 21 out of 23, I think it's 21 out of 23 or 20 out of 22, you know, those very close, people who were diagnosed with delusions of parasites had, when they did microscopic examinations of the ulcerations or lesions on these individuals, they found springtails, columbella. It's there. So the Morgellons Foundation never mentions it. Dr. Saverly in her book doesn't talk about it. I understand why, because she's talking about legitimizing Morgellons. She doesn't want to get into a dog fight over columbella. She doesn't talk about skin fungus. Likewise, why would she? She wants to legitimize Morgellons and get people thinking about Morgellons. Whether or not she knows about or skin fungus and columbella, I don't know. But so they say it's not contagious. They hold a convention in Austin, Texas. I don't think they did it this year because of the virus. And they invite people from all around the world to attend who have Morgellons and who don't have Morgellons, anybody who wants to learn. So they feel very, very comfortable in their position. Personally, I have given it to other people. Other people have picked it up from me. I've caught it from other people. I have dozens of emails from other people that say they've given it to their grandchildren, or they picked it up from neighbors. They picked it up from riding in somebody's seat. They picked it up from riding in an airplane where somebody else sat before them. They picked it up in a salon. They picked it up in a massage parlor. Hey, am I to call these people liars?
Absolutely.
Now, how many people are susceptible? That we don't know. Until they get off of their hard hat that says it's non-contagious and acknowledge it is, we'll never know, because research has to determine that. Is it 1 person out of 10 susceptible? 1 out of 50? I had a woman tell me, well, you're wrong about being contagious because I have it, and I have 250 people working for me, and none of them have it. So therefore, you're wrong. Dr. Saverly, in her defense of it not being contagious, says, I've been in the business for 20 years working with people every day, and I don't have it. I didn't catch it. That's their defense. But again, they're in the ivory tower. I'm down here in the trenches with you. Thank you. Anyone else have a question or would like to share?
I was
hoping I could ask one more.
There was somebody else first?
Yeah, there was.
Yes.
I was just wondering if in detoxing is throwing up part of that detoxing?
Throwing up as a reaction, you know, that list was fairly comprehensive, but I don't believe it exists, all of it. I don't know.
Okay.
You'd have to go to Google and see if you can find somebody or some reference to vomiting as a symptom of detox. Do you also have rashes?
No.
Okay.
No, but sometimes after I take a long hot bath, all of a sudden I've got that's been a productive, like, you know, it's gotten a lot out of my skin. Then sometimes I get sick just immediately, and then it's all gone away.
You say you vomit after you get out of a bath?
Right.
Do you drink water as you're taking a bath? You have water handy, because a hot bath can dehydrate you.
Yeah, I drink water all the time now.
I almost passed out once from a hot bath.
Yeah, I know. I've been careful of that since you said that.
Yes. So I don't really have a definitive answer for you. Robin, do you know?
I do know that when I first started out dieting, every time I ate anything, I would throw up. And Claudia, who was on our show and she actually recommended this, is Alka-Seltzer Gold. It has, I don't know if it's potassium, it has something in it that settles your stomach and lets you absorb nutrients. And she said it was a really common thing, the vomiting, that she had
Oh.
known about. So I actually still now I take I have a morning drink I make, and Alka-Seltzer Gold is part of it every day.
Okay.
But it has
Great.
to be the gold, not regular Alka-Seltzer.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Great. Anyone
have
else have a question or like to share?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
My name is Beth. This is my first time on the call. I think I got bird mites or springtails a month ago. I'm on the diet, and I have a lot of your products. I haven't started any of them yet. My question is, I'm curious how elaborate the rashes that people get from bird mites or springtails can get. Because I think I was the one who asked the fungus question. I about a few weeks into moving the bird's nest that I got the mites from, I started getting like what turned into a rash over 70% of my body. And it's been hard to tell, like some of it clearly looked like, bug bite, but then it seemed like there was a fungal component too. And now my doctor thinks that there's MRSA involved, so it was interesting to hear the other person say that they were misdiagnosed with MRSA. And I'm just kind of having a hard time parsing out, like, what of this is mites and springtails and what of this is fungus. Yeah.
Well, the answer is if you complete the questionnaire, I'll be able to do a better assessment. Now, rashes can be caused by a lot of different things. It can be simply bacteria under the skin from mites or whatever might be biting you. It could also be strongyloides. Do you also have any hives around the anus?
No, just itching around the anus.
Coughing? Coughing?
No coughing.
Diarrhea or constipation?
Diarrhea, but I think it's coming from a medicine that I'm on as a side effect.
Okay. Yeah, there are 7 symptoms associated with strongyloides, and when you complete the questionnaire, they're all there, and I can take a look at it and inform you how many you have of the 7 and whether or not it'd be beneficial to get a antibody test for it. But
okay.
The thing is to get that diet started, get the disinfecting going, because, you might have brought these things in just 2 days ago, and now they're all over the darn house. And everything has to be disinfected. And by the time you get to Nature's Gift, if you're on the diet, you might already start to be noticing improvement. And the Nature's Gift will help clean them out of your skin. And the disinfectant will help destroy them as they come out.
And it could also be mites and it could be fungus together,
The burning is usually fungus. If there's no burning, it's usually not fungus. If you go to Google and you Google images of fungus, boy, they're ugly. But generally, just a red burning feeling is the beginning of skin fungus, and if it's not dealt with, it could get pretty bad. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
This is Bree again. When it comes to electronics or anything
EMF.
like.
Well, you see, Morgellons is Morgellons, and then we have the perfect storm, which bring in a lot of cofactors. If you're around a computer or anything electronic and you feel more activity, that's an indication that you are EMF sensitive. And then you want to look at, in the book, are things that you can do to reduce the EMF in your home or on your person. For your cell phone, you want to keep it away from you at night when you sleep. Keep it in another room. We have shungite little squares that you can stick on your phone so it cancels out the EMF from the phone. There are Stetson filters that you can put in your electric outlets in your home to cancel it out in your house. There's a device you can put over the meter that brings the electricity in. If it's the newer meter, I don't think the old ones are around anymore, but that it will cancel out that. So EMF is a big factor, and now with 5G, it's a nightmare because exposure, according to Dr. Klingoff, exposure to 5G for 6 months or longer dramatically reduces immune functioning. And one of the experts about it on a series of videos shares that every cell in your body has pathways from the bloodstream into the cell, and there are specific pathways, and the one that is particularly affected is the pathway for calcium. So somehow the 5G, the wavelength is so short that it stimulates this pathway and opens it up and dumps a lot of calcium into the cellular structure. And that will completely screw up the endocrine system, the immune system, everything gets screwed up. And you're on your way out. I mean, 5G is a way of eradicating humanity.
That's exactly how I feel, and I believe that, COVID's based on that as well. But that's my own belief, and I won't go into that. That's another subject. But I did not know that, and I am absolutely just dumbfounded.
Well, if you can, listen to last week's report. Listen to last week's recording because we went over the perfect storm: glyphosate, GMOs, chemtrails, and 5G. We discussed it all last week. Okay, anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Yes, Richard. How you doing, Richard? This is Mary.
Hey, Mary, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
I was listening to you all talk about the EMF, and I was wondering, you was mentioning about calcium. So, are you suggesting we don't need to take any calcium?
Oh no, you want the right amount of calcium. It's that 5G you got to get rid of. You've got to put a shungite plate on your cell phone or whatever you can do to protect yourself from 5G. I'd like to get somebody who has got time on their hands and can do research because I have the whole series of videos on one of these little file sticks. What do you call them?
USB?
What?
A flash drive?
Yeah, flash drive. And what we need to do is get, with respect to 5G, we got to join a movement to influence every town in this country. Easton, Connecticut has already done it. They have passed a law that does not allow 5G to operate in the confines of its town, So if we're not going to get anything at a national level, and we need to go to the local levels and influence the local lawmakers to get rid of 5G, get them out. We need somebody to also, we need to somehow join an organization that goes to all the Lowe's and Home Depots and hardware stores and get rid of glyphosate.
Whoa.
Boy, what an echo that was.
Sorry, I did that.
I love that echo.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
So, Richard, do you have...
Let me be repetitive. Let me echo that.
So, Richard, do you have a section in your book to read about? Do you have a section in the book to read about shielding from the EMF?
Absolutely. And if you complete the questionnaire, I even give it to you in the protocol. If you, there's a question. Do you notice yourself more active around computer parts when you're around computers and so forth? You check yes, and you get everything you need to know.
Oh, yes, I have a big problem. And I have one more question. Do you have anything for the skin fungus in the store?
Absolutely. You use the Nature's Gift in the bathtub, and you use maybe a cup or a cup and a half of apple cider vinegar. And then when you're out of the bathtub and you need to be relentless. You have apple cider vinegar. It's the best thing. You can apply it full strength. If it burns too much, cut it 50-50 with water. But apply it direct to the areas that burn. And go after it every 15 minutes if you need to get rid of it.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for the information. Where will I get the questionnaire?
What's that?
Where will I get the questionnaire? Because I took one, but it was a couple of years ago.
Did you get an email about this call today?
Oh, yeah, I've been getting mail for a while.
Okay, there's an attachment to it. It's got the questionnaire, the tapping, the deep breathing, and the diet or attachment.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Richard.
Now, the thing about skin fungus is that it can migrate. I'm sitting at a table, and there's a tablecloth that comes down to my knee. If I have skin fungus on my knee and the tablecloth is touching it, it can actually migrate to that tablecloth. So that after I get rid of it from my knee, if I sit back here, I'm going to get it back again. Likewise in your car, your seatbelt. It'll migrate to your seatbelt. So there's a whole section in the book about skin fungus. Thank you. Anyone else have a question?
Yes. Lynn from California.
Yes.
30 miles north of San Francisco. So I have been craving milk. Now, does any of these things, three things, fungus, do they deplete your system and you need to crave milk, or am I possibly maybe vitamin D now?
You're craving milk, as in cow's milk?
I drink it like hell now, and I never did before.
Well, unless you're in stage 2 or 3, or unless you have lactose-free milk that has no additives that I know is in Costco, I wouldn't suggest it.
Oh. Because it's sugar or something that feeds.
Well, the lactose. You want the lactose-free milk. Costco has a brand that has no additives. Most grocery stores have additives, like diglycerides. I have no idea why.
That's one down and more to go.
Any other questions?
The fungus. I have the fungus question. The fungus in the fingernails, is that a sign? Well, I think it's a sign of depletion of something. Obviously, your body can't fight off it.
Well, for the fungus in the fingernails, you can do a finger bath. Often with columbella or springtails, I recommend people do foot baths. You're sitting down, you're watching TV or something, keep your foot in the bath. Here you put your finger bath. So put like a quarter capful of the Nature's Gift along with maybe a third of a cup of apple cider vinegar and just do finger baths. Now, you can also use
like 24 hours if you can.
well, you can also use the lefineron and the kinase enzymes along with it.
Oh, there's my other question. You said the kinase enzymes are to fight this whole problem, but then you said that, I think, I just didn't get this right. The kinase is something we need to get rid of or we need to have?
Well, the kinase is an enzyme. The chitin is the substance that is a problem. The chitin, so the kinase enzymes break it down, dissolve it, eat it up.
Oh.
So the fingernail fungus is held together by chitin. So the kinase enzymes would go to break it up. So would the lefineron. Lefineron would go to help keep it from multiplying. The Nature's Gift and apple cider vinegar extract it and destroy it.
Can I ask you how could you in 20 years or whatever it's been, it's not even that long for you, figure all this out?
Well, I have 5,000 people in my research team.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I hope I'm one. Thank you.
I learned
I
from
hope
all
I'm
of
the
you.
best one at this point. I'd like to be. And I don't even have it really badly, I have to say. I feel guilty kind of, but I really don't have it. Well, it started weirdly, but it changes, and then it goes this way and that way, and whatever way it wants to go because they're all over. And I don't know what I have because I haven't filled out the questionnaire, but I will. I'm going to.
I look forward to it.
Well, I hope you do, and I hope you get some information from it because it ain't normal around here. Thank you. Oh, there you go.
Well, unfortunately, it's becoming more normal.
What about people getting like electrostatic shocks from the shit? Uh-oh, there goes my door. I'll hang up now. Bye-bye. I'm too loud.
Bye.
Uh-oh, gotta go.
Okay, anyone else that would like to share or ask a question? We have a quiet group today, Robin. What's happening?
No.
Usually everybody's talking over everybody. We have to sort them out.
Well,
I would like to say that this is Barbara. I like to say that I love this group.
Barbara!
Our buddy coach. Hi, Barbara. We love you.
Hi. Thank you. Love you too.
Barbara is our herbalist. And Barbara's researching a formulation so that we can produce dopamine with herbs instead of having to turn to medications such as Zyprexa, Orap, and so forth. Abilify.
I've been on Abilify.
We're counting on you, Barbara.
I know.
I have a question. This is Lori from Ohio about the dopamine. Do you
Yes.
want the level of dopamine to be lower or higher?
Yes, we want to decrease dopamine.
It decrease. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now I'm on citalopram. I don't know what the brand name for that is, but I was on Zoloft. But does any of those kind lower the dopamine?
I believe Zoloft does. I'm not familiar with the other medication. All you have to do is go to Google and type in the medication and affects dopamine. And then
it does seem like it does when I look it up. I looked it up and it does.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it does.
So you want any medication your doctor prescribes you. You want to go to the ones that, if you have a choice, that reduce dopamine levels.
Zoloft works for me. I can always go back, knowing for a fact that does. I can always switch back over to Zoloft. But and one more thing I wanted to say is that I think there was somebody talking about that is this contagious, and what I've noticed around me is that certain family members with high anxiety are the ones that have the most effect from me. Like my daughter has high anxiety, my father has high anxiety, but none of the people around that do not have those traits are affected by it. It's something I picked up. It's kind of weird.
It's interesting. Something to keep in mind.
It is very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Lori.
Great. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
I guess I'm gonna ask one. It's free again because I've got a billion questions. But one of the main things is that when I am in the kitchen around food, like I'm almost unable to even cook. Is that to do with the actual food itself? And are there special gloves or anything to wear in the meantime before I get my debriding soap and
actually, I wouldn't expect anything until you've been on that diet, until the diet kicks in, and we'll cross our fingers and pray that it kicks in real quick for you. Disinfecting the surroundings, like chapter 3 is like about 55, 60 pages long. So it's a lot of work to do. And quite frankly, the people that beat Morgellons tell me they read this book that I wrote 6, 8 times. They refer to it constantly. It's like their Bible. So it's becoming simpatico with that book and everything in it, and coming back to this program every Sunday. It's a lot of work, and you need to be aggressive.
Well,
So I wouldn't expect anything until you got going on it, on the diet.
Okay. Well, it is like a duh thing, but I was also wondering, like right now, I'm about to take my son to lunch, and I can barely eat the food that's sitting in front of me.
I can't hear you. You're something's wrong.
I was trying to walk back into my room because I went into the kitchen and I brought you with me. And that's what brought up my question, because I was in the kitchen and my mother was making some food. But my question was, or my statement to her comment, I believe it was Barbara who made the comment about, well, duh. And I totally get it. But I'm like a super sensitive person right now, so that I kind of took that a little more personally than it was meant for. I understand that. But I was trying to figure out, like, is there something that right now I would be able to make my son food and not feel that I infected his food? Or do I have to just get on that King's diet and it's going to be a gradual process, and until then I should stay away from my son's food?
I don't know if your son is susceptible to picking up these organisms or not.
Well,
you are contagious.
My son has a panic attack.
You are contagious. You are contagious until you get rid of the itching and the biting. And that is until you get the diet kicks in. So until that diet kicks in, you are contagious. And if I were doing anything, I would take a bath with the Nature's Gift and the disinfectant before I did any food preparation or disinfected my hands with one of the Nature's Gift products. Now, you can do it with vinegar. You don't have to wait for the Nature's Gift. You can wash your hands with vinegar or apple cider vinegar. Thank you. Anyone else have a question you'd like to ask?
I have a follow-up question. This is Beth.
Yes.
So apple cider vinegar is what has created, I wiped apple cider vinegar all over my body for 3 days to, detox the mite, and that's what gave me the rash all over my body. So I've been hesitant to start the Nature's Gift. I have the Nature's Gift soap, but I've been hesitant to start it because I'm trying to calm this rash down first. I'm afraid that I'm going to just break out in a rash all over. Is that reasonable, or just
Well, you want to get in the tub with a Nature's Gift right away, and you say you broke out after you used the apple cider vinegar?
Yes.
Did you put it on your skin 100%, or did you put it in the bath?
I put it on my skin 100%, and then I left it for 10 minutes, and then I showered it off, and I could feel it actually detoxing the stuff off me. I felt like crawling organisms on me for the first 3 hours.
Well, you might not be ready for 100%. So you may want to stick with it in the bath for now with the apple cider vinegar. I don't know if you could have a skin allergy to apple cider vinegar. I don't know if that's possible.
Well, it's been a week. It's been 2 weeks, and I still have this elaborate rash. So I just don't know. I want to get started with the Nature's Gift. I just don't want to make my skin even worse. And
yeah.
I'm getting lesions all over my feet and my hands, and
Now, are you on the diet?
I am on the diet, yes.
And you're strict with the diet?
I am strict with the diet. My diet was very, very close to what it was beforehand. And since I read your book, I tweaked the diet, what I was already doing.
Are you using Lefiniron or the kinase enzymes or anything else?
I have the enzymes. I haven't started them yet. I mean, I guess since I'm just kind of scared. I don't know where to start. I mean, Western medicine thinks that things are so severe they're trying to not hospitalize me. So I'm just scared I'm scared to make things worse. But I have all the stuff, and I just don't know what the next step is.
Well, I would suggest though, take Robin's number and give her a call, and she'll help you through it to get started.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you. Robin is a super coach.
Yeah,
Anyone else have a question you'd like to ask? Anyone like to share your experience, your progress?
Everything.
Hello?
I have the same thing as her with vinegar. My name is Rachel from Connecticut, and I sprayed my skin with the colloidal silver, actually, instead of taking it internally. Until I got the Nature's Gift, I would spray it with the colloidal silver, and it was very soothing, and I just thought that might help her.
Yeah, colloidal silver is good. She probably doesn't have it right now. We have it in the store, 12 parts per million.
The Nature's Gift is very gentle, and I don't think it would start her rash. It's very gentle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do have colloidal silver. Should I water it down so it's not strong?
Well, I don't know. You can spray it. You can put it in a spray bottle and spray it.
Okay.
Yeah, it already has water in it, so just spray it directly on your parts that itch. It really helps.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
This is Lori from California. I'd like to make a comment.
Yes.
I just want to say about the debriding soap, I think that's the most amazing soap I've ever used in my entire life. And if I didn't even have this, I would still want to get it. I don't think that would cause the rash. It's the carbon, like the charcoal, right?
You're absolutely right. It's elemental carbon. It's inert. It's non-reactive. It cleans, so it extracts. And then whatever you use, you have to be careful.
I'd like to make another comment maybe about the detoxing. I've detoxed many a times. I had hepatitis C and I had a tumor on my liver, which is gone now. And I used to wake up feeling nauseous and throwing up almost on a daily basis. And I used to take charcoal before I went to bed every single night, and that's the only thing that would save my stomach. So I think the debriding soap, it's kind of twofold. It gets down in there, but the charcoal neutralizes the toxins, I think, even in the skin.
Thank you.
That's very interesting. I have a quick question.
Yes.
Okay. I've gone through mattress protectors like they're going out of style because I can't stand any type of threading or material. It's absolutely horrific on my skin. It just causes me to have what I call a flare-up. So my question to you is, do the fibers from Morgellons stay on top of the mattress protector, or do they go through it? Because I've noticed that if something comes out of me and I've saved it because, I've been going through this for so long, I've saved it in a plastic bag. The plastic bag does not do anything as far as keep it as a barrier between me and it. Is that like, I want to say is that normal, but none of this is really normal by any standard. So the terminology to use is a little.
So the only thing that I've found that works with mattresses is very thick zippered vinyl mattress protectors. They come in different weights and thicknesses. And you want to have them on the box spring as well if you have traditional mattresses. And on your pillow.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a good pillow right now. I have a nickel allergy as well. I'm not sure if it's really a nickel allergy or if it's caused by this because I'm not sure, but any type of copper or any type of metal basically has nickel because it's a hardener is what I've been told. So anything that is metal, it literally just, it hates me. So if every time I touch a doorknob, I'm getting bit. I go through and I wash these doorknobs, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 times a day. Because
washing, you need to call me or one of the other coaches. There's a difference between washing things, disinfecting, and exterminating. And you can wash things a million times a day and it won't do anything.
It won't do.
Just saying.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sensitivities is another. It's strange, but I've learned there was one person I knew of who was actually allergic to water. So allergies are, kind of out of my thing. Anyone else like to share or comment or ask a question?
I had a quick logistical question.
Hello?
Go ahead, whoever that was.
Or I'll go.
Hello?
I had a quick logistical question about the debriding soap. When it came in the mail, there was a note that said put it in the refrigerator for an hour. What's the purpose of that, and is it okay that I accidentally left it in there for like a few days?
The debriding soap came with a note that said to put it in the refrigerator?
Yeah. Well, I had that and cedar cream and one other thing in the package, and
the cedar cream.
Clarify. It was the cedar cream. It didn't say which thing. It didn't. It was just floating around in the package, so I didn't know which thing it meant. So
the cedar cream, both the cedar cream and the regular cream are easy to melt in the summer temperatures. So they sometimes turn to liquid, and you'll want to maybe refrigerate them and then stir them up after they start coalescing, solidifying.
Okay. Well, I accidentally put my debriding soap in the refrigerator because I thought that's what it meant, and I forgot about it. Is it okay? I don't.
No, you can boil it. You can freeze it. It doesn't matter. I don't know if it'll freeze.
Good.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, good. So it's fine.
Okay.
So it's fine.
Yep.
Great. Thanks.
Yep. Anyone else have a question you'd like to ask or share?
Yes, I would. This is Shirley from Georgia.
Hi, Shirley.
I want to ask you. I went online and it had where you put your name. It said to write my name, your name down after I got you writing. And I wanted to find out that Benefy. Do y'all have it in your store? Is this the store that I'm supposed to order the stuff from? It's medicine.
No, we don't sell the medicine. You have to go to the doctor for that.
No, our store is theorganicskincare.com. Theorganicskincare.com. Or you can cheat and just write in parasitestore.com.
Okay.
Singular,
okay.
parasitestore.com.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you, you spoke on a Benefy. Could would that be a good thing for me to ask my doctor because I'm going to appointment with my doctor? And I need to be on some medicine.
I find it difficult to think that anybody who is dealing with Morgellons and these skin parasites isn't depressed. And Abilify, that it's an antidepressant. So I think it's an excellent choice. But I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just passing along observation.
Yes, I know.
Okay,
I'm just trying to. I was listening at what you were saying about the medicines that you said that you was referring some of the medicines. and I didn't know which one to really ask my doctor about because I got the ones that you write down. And so I know Abilify, and then there's another one, about 2 more, and there's one for a shot, a booster shot for the immune system. I was just wondering, would that be a good idea too?
Do you have the book?
Yes, I do. Yes,
okay,
I do. That's where I got it from.
Yeah, Chapter 6 gives you a list of all the medications.
Yeah, that's where I got this from right here, the medications from, and I'm just wondering.
So any of those medications have been reported to be beneficial, and we found the common denominator is they basically all reduce dopamine.
Okay then.
Anxiety, I believe.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
I would. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, goody. Well, my theory is, I think, I really don't know, but what we need to have is no dopamine. Well, if you take a drug from a drug store or something and to reduce your dopamine, isn't adrenaline in the dopamine?
What?
Does adrenaline make dopamine?
No.
Oh. No, really. What makes the bad thing that we don't need?
What makes a dopamine?
Anxiety.
You got me there. I don't know what, I'd have to research that. Just go to
Wait
Google.
a minute. No. But if we have anxiety and we're anxious and we're whatever, that increases the drug that's in our bodies that is dopamine?
Well, no, the anxiety creates adrenaline, noradrenaline, epinephrine, and cortisol. Those are specific hormones. They have nothing to do with dopamine.
Oh. I don't know what dopamine is.
They are the stress response hormones. They got you ready to fight or run. So
right.
That's why we introduced the deep breathing and the tapping, for you to take a break and get rid of those hormones.
Well, I live with...
Feel better.
I can't do anything.
We don't want to lower it too much because too low dopamine will cause depression in itself. And I don't know if we know why lower dopamine makes you unattractive to parasites. All we know is that it does.
So lower dopamine means you're more the parasites are more attractive. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
and it's in very small doses.
This is called the attractor factor. I mean, people report that they can go out and you can walk in a mall. I remember I used to go in the stand in line in the grocery store and feel them, So when you reduce the dopamine, that goes away. You're no longer attracting them to that degree.
Okay. So dopamine is exactly, how does our body produce dopamine again?
You'd have to look that up on Google. You got me.
The brain produces dopamine.
Oh, yeah.
It's anything, this is Lori from Ohio. I just looked it up. And it's just released during pleasurable situations.
Right.
And stimulate, it can mean,
Say it again.
Food.
Say it again.
It's released during pleasurable situations and stimulates one to seek out the pleasurable activity or occupation. This could be food, sex, several drugs. But like she said, it's probably you can probably have it in small doses, but just not a lot of it.
So the point is, let me correct myself. We're not interested in reducing the dopamine in the brain. We're interested in reducing the uptake of dopamine from the brain.
Okay.
So be pleasurable, produce all the dopamine you want, but reduce the uptake.
Don't let it store in your body, maybe. There you go.
Yes.
Maybe it's going to be stored in your body. I think that might be the answer.
Oh, I don't know.
Can you explain the uptake? What do you mean by that?
Well, in the brain there are medications work on this principle, and different medications work with different people because of the way the I don't know what
the body.
Can't think of the word, but there are specific receptors. So you're turning off the receptors that take up the dopamine. That's the goal, to turn off those receptors.
Okay. Like, so basically, you don't want what your body naturally produces through pleasure or whatever. You just don't want an excess on top of that. No, we don't want to. We don't want the receptors to take it in. I mean, you can have a lake of salt water in your brain, but you don't want the receptors to flood your body with it, to flood yourself with it. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
I have one more thing to say. I'm starting to believe that possibly those little thingies adore when you have too much of the one thing in your chemical body and they attack because you're rampant of it. I mean, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Dopamine or whatever, feeling, whatever. The baby doing. Am I muted?
Okay.
Well, the only research that we know of is the one that says you want to reduce the uptake of dopamine to reduce parasitic activity. And it seems to work for columbella, it seems to work for mites, protozoan.
When you say acidity, does that mean you shouldn't eat lemons?
No, I didn't say anything about acidity.
I'm wondering. Well, I just don't know what you want to keep the levels right so the little buggers don't keep eating you wherever they're going right and left in your body. But so, because I crave certain foods, and I know for a fact I'm fighting them off because I eat that stuff.
Well,
lemon, garlic, oregano.
We're not talking about a diet to control the dopamine uptake. The diet is for reducing the parasitic, cleaning out the parasites from your body. We're talking about medications that can help the diet kick in to get rid of parasitic activity. And then we're talking about our herbalist looking into natural herbs that will do the same thing to turn off the receptors that uptake dopamine.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you. I got it.
You're welcome. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
I'm going to ask a question.
Yes.
My God. Stupid woman.
I just wanted to ask, as far as the cognitive functioning ability, is it needed? But as far as the cognitive functioning ability, how is it different for everyone, or is that talked about in your book?
Cognitive functioning. Well, that's a huge arena. It comes down to your nutrition. It comes down to glutathione would be definitely something important to boost for cognitive benefit.
Yeah, but it depends on your brain.
So, okay. I think we're about to close. We're going to take maybe one more question, and then we're going to have the drawing. One more question, and then we'll have the drawing. All right. Looks like we're having the drawing.
Goody.
Chris, you have the winner?
0447.
If the last four digits of your phone number are 0447, you're the winner of either a signed copy of my book, or $20 credit. If you choose the signed copy of my book, it'll be probably maybe a week and a half or two before you get it, because the newest version, I'm just getting the proofs hopefully this week. So we won't actually have copies of the new version for another week and a half. Or you can take the 9th version, whichever you choose. So do we have the winner? What were the digits again?
0447.
0447. Are you still on the call? Do you still see them logged in?
I think they're not there, Richard. I looked up.
Okay, let's draw again.
Man, it doesn't pay to leave early.
5067.
5067. You're on the call? Great. Okay, we're going to end the recording.